So we just shot a giant buck here in South Dakota.
Well, hey everybody. In today's show, we're going to tag along with Eric Schmitz and Brian Gilbert as they go on a do-it-yourself turkey hunt out in Kansas. Now, these guys did their homework and they know how to get the job done, but that doesn't mean they didn't have some perils along the way. These guys got into some things that, well, you just don't plan for. So let's tag along with them out in the Kansas and let's see just how their trip went.
How do you even open this?
I don't know.
Hi everybody.
Hi everybody. This is our Kansas turkey hunting trip in 2017. Archery season on public land. And we headed out, what day was that, on a Friday. Got down there and...
Actually we headed out Sunday night. Sunday night, right after work.
It was, I don't remember, yeah. But first thing we do when we get into state, we found a couple of birds on right next to public land, and then we ended up taking ourselves down some gravel roads, which turned into dirt roads, and that turned into us getting stuck in the slimy dirt roads that we just simply couldn't get off of because we had no traction.
So here we are in Kansas. Eric and I. Nothing can go wrong, right? Wrong. Never, ever let Eric tell you what road to go down. Apparently they've gotten a lot of rain. And if anybody's ever been out in Kansas, they have paved roads, but not all of them are paved. So, with that being said, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. Let's see if I can get the camera oriented here to the... You can see the nice dirt tracks we're doing. And this is what we have left, but we have skidded all the way to the side of the road. And it drops off. Okay, here's Eric.
Gonna go find some help. Get us out of the first and hopefully the only delay. Go figure. Oh, man.
So what happened, Eric?
Literally, we came straight and then just slid right off. Just slide. Hey, I hear a vehicle. I'm gonna go flag him down.
Oh, you better hurry! Well, Eric found someone to talk to. He drove out here and said he couldn't help us. But he was nice enough to call one of his friends that apparently has a truck that has mud tires on it to try to drag us out of here. We've actually slid further towards the drop-off. It's not a huge drop-off, but it's one I don't want to go down. So Eric, is up at the road waiting for the gentleman to come save the day, hopefully, and get us out of here. The other problem we've been having is that neither one of us have really great signal. Actually, he's got a little bit of signal and I have nothing. So, I kind of feel like Mission to Mars, where I'm talking into the camera to document everything that's going on. And believe me, I have a few choice words to say.
So Brian just admitted that he's afraid of roads.
Only when we get stuck.
He's now afraid to drive down the gravel road because we got stuck on the dirt road. Just mud.
But what's under gravel? Dirt.
More gravel. We're okay.
Thankfully, you know, everybody in Kansas is really nice.
Super people.
Super people. Wave at you no matter what. Even if they don't know you, they'll ask you how you've been and how you're doing. We had a couple of people try to help us, but they were scared they were going to get stuck themselves. And then Eric was able to get a hold of one person that he had his boys bring out a tractor.
Yeah. And they are farmers.
They pulled us to safety, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the bad thing is that we traveled quite a distance on this mud road before we got stuck.
Yeah.
And it was what, 50 feet before we would have hit solid road again?
Another 50 yards or so.
Another,
probably. And then
okay.
it would have been off. We were almost out. Didn't quite make it. But, oh well.
Trip of a lifetime.
Right, we got to start the trip off with something like that. And we decided to camp right there because we found a couple of flocks of birds using that area, and one was on the public land. We found that flock there. Yep. And so we decided to hunt there. We set up camp, and then we had 2 days, or 1 day, just hanging out scouting. And that afternoon, that Sunday afternoon, we saw a tom come down into the river bottom and roost down there. So we set up Monday morning for the opener on both sides of him.
If you're looking for a place to go in Ontario with wonderful accommodations, a sandy beach to dig your toes in, or awesome bass and walleye fishing, Dog Lake Resort, just northwest of Thunder Bay, is the place for you. You can also choose to go with Black Bear Adventures and chase that black bear of a lifetime. Bonfires and beautiful sunsets are the norm here. This segment brought to you by Bow Dagger and Crossbow Dagger. We stand up for your bows. By Ghost Blind. Not seeing is believing. By Pro Hunter Sights and Accessories. And by It's Me Time Decals for You.
Well, happy April 1st. Can you hear that? Yes. It is raining! And it hasn't stopped since last night. More good luck Mother Nature brings us, right? Yes. So we decided to sleep in. And Eric's sleeping in lasted until we were supposed to first get up at 5. And it is now 10:46 in the morning. He must have been tired. I was too. After all the mud escapades we had yesterday. So, the plan is, since our tent leaked last night, more good news, right? We're going to head into town. We're going to grab a tarp to put over the tent to stop the leaking. Apparently, there's got to be something. There's no holes in the rain fly. That must be just a little bit of wear and tear with it, so it's just coming through the seams. And we got some stuff for that, but it's got to be dry to put it on. So we're just going to go get the tarp to put over the tent, which will fix that problem. And then go in to a laundromat to dry our sleeping bags and some of our clothes. And then hopefully it's going to stop raining. We looked at the radar this morning. It's a big front going through. So we might do some just scouting from the road if it lets up a little bit. And then see if the birds that we saw yesterday are going to be in the same spots. Because starting tomorrow, we can start shooting.
There's at least one instrument.
4.
I can't see this far.
So we ended up hunting there at the first area for those first half of the week or so, but eventually we ended up not seeing anything. They weren't roosting on the public anymore, so we couldn't find them anywhere but on the private, and they weren't leaving the private property, so we decided to head to a second spot early in the morning and see if we could find something more to hunt. So jump out of the truck. It was about 45 minutes away. We got up early, made the drive, and it was still dark, and I jumped out, made some owl hoots.
Yeah, the first thing you heard was about 100 turkeys gobbling.
The whole woods just lit up in gobbles. I'm like, I think we're going to stay here. So we got out, we hunted that morning right off the bat, and we started working in towards the flock. They were down there, I don't know, a half mile or so.
Yeah, we had to go through a cornfield, and it wasn't a real wide, but it was real long, and then it would come up to kind of a, it wasn't a full tree line. There was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 pines there, and then it kind of dipped down into a nice green field, and then you could see that it was all surrounded by hardwoods, and we kind of did a little stalk in there and looking through the trees, and we saw tons of turkeys.
Yeah, could see them moving around, and we set up on that fence line and started calling, and they started moving closer to us, and I was leaning up against the tree, and you were sitting down.
Yeah,
so
we decided to put a little bit, back off. I don't know, we backed off about 50 yards or so.
Yeah.
And then, I was sitting with my crossbow, and he was behind the tree that I was leaning up against with the camera. And I couldn't see too much because there was stubble there from the corn.
Right. It
so
was waist-high corn stubble almost.
He started saying, "They're coming into the field, and I can't see anything," which was great.
Yeah, so I could see the toms in the back, and then by the time I could tell where they were, I was trying to whisper it to them, but by then the hens had all filtered through the field, and they were 5 yards away, 6 yards away.
I wouldn't be surprised if one would have jumped up on my foot.
Right.
That was an exciting hunt for me, because it was the first time that I've used a crossbow turkey hunting, and that didn't go off without having some problems as well, which we're going to get into. So he's sitting there whispering to me that these turkeys are coming in. I'm starting to see just the heads above the stubble. The toms were actually off to more of our right, and I'm sitting there, and these turkeys are coming in from the left and right, and they've got within five yards of us, and it got you don't move because we had so many eyes on us. Yeah. Thankfully, I was wearing a ghillie suit. But I had a nice jake. Or actually, I think it was a tom, wasn't it? It was a
No,
younger
it was
Tom.
a Jake.
Was it a Jake? It
Oh,
came in
Tom's
front of me, and I went to shoot, and all I heard was a click. So yeah, that wasn't good.
No.
So and of course Eric didn't know what was going on. So I'm sitting here trying to put my foot in the stirrup and pull the line back with these turkeys looking at me. And you could tell they were getting a little bit skittish because they were starting to look at us and then kind of back off and then come
Tell
forward
something wasn't
again.
right.
But I have an anti-dry fire system on my crossbow, so I actually had to take the bolt off the crossbow to get it to lock back up. And I think that's when you happened to look down and see that I didn't have a bolt.
He's messing around. I was like, what is going on here?
So anyway, I was able to get the bolt back on. By this time, the toms have now turned and
Yeah, the flock had pretty much, they figured something was out and the hens took the toms back out further into the field. But luckily for us, there were jakes behind us in the field coming across to join the flock yet. And
that's where I took a shot and, you know, shooting those Rex Spit broadheads, it sure did the job, you know. My first turkey kill, my first kill with a crossbow, you know, I let the bolt go. You could just see it. You saw it hit the Jake. The Jake went what, 20 feet, and he just kind of stopped, walked, and just fell over.
If you're looking for a place to go in Ontario with wonderful accommodations, a sandy beach to dig your toes in, or awesome bass and walleye fishing, Dog Lake Resort, just northwest of Thunder Bay, is the place for you. You can also choose to go with Black Bear Adventures and chase that black bear of a lifetime. Bonfires and beautiful sunsets are the norm here. This segment brought to you by Native Ground Blinds. Quiet operation because there are no zippers or Velcro. Use our code BTADWI to get free merchandise when you order your blind. Hunt like a native. Lightning Camera Arms. Carbon Synergy. Beat them scentless. Badlands Backpacks. And lacrosse footwear.
He's down. You got him. You got him. Yeah, buddy. Hey, don't get up. Don't get up. There's still jakes out there. We'll wait for him to clear the field. We don't want to spook the flock out. He's down right there. Nice shot, man. Nice shot.
My first kill with a bow, baby.
Yeah, buddy. Rio Grande.
Turkey.
Rio Grande turkey. Hey, we got one down in Kansas, buddy.
The bow wouldn't work.
Yeah, I heard that click.
It goes click.
I'm like, what was that? Like, not now. The whole flock is right in front of us.
Oh my god.
Holy smoke. And he's right there. There's no tracking. I can see his wing. He's done now. Yeah, dude. Hey, how about that game plan of changing areas? Work out? It worked out.
We're coming back here tomorrow.
Dude, no, we're sitting out the rest of the day here. Let's get this bird. Once the flock leaves, we'll run him back to the truck. Should we go get the ghost blinds? Should we break down camp and bring it up here? I think so. We can camp right across the street then.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect, because then we can hit these guys tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, that was nice. So that was our first bird down in Kansas. We had 3 more tags left. We had 2 apiece.
That's right, because we were able to shoot 2 apiece.
Yeah, so we still had plenty of work to do, but we had plenty of birds to work with, so that was a good sign. Right in the middle, kind of the fields where they all intersect, there's a group of cedars. I threw the ghost blind up in front of us, so I had great background cover, and they were using that corner a lot just to cross naturally, and I threw my decoys out just to bring them in close, and it worked. I sat all day, and I was sitting there. It was probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and all of a sudden I look over, and out of the corner of the field I see 2 big black dots with white and red heads coming. I was like, ooh, those are toms, sweet. So I got ready, and they ended up coming in, making their way across the field, came right in. I drew back on the first one, and he came right up to the decoy, and I zipped him.
Alright, just got my bird. Brought him back in the blind with me, cause I got one more tag. So we'll sit tight and see what happens. Maybe another one will show up. But I got a long beard, baby. I'm pumped. He's a beast too. He's got nice spurs, nice beard, big old bird. First one with the bow, and he looks like a Rio more than an Eastern. He might be a hybrid though.
So that was exciting. And then I went out, grabbed that bird, and just threw him behind the blind and kept sitting, because the rest of the afternoon was still great, and it was a great day. It got sunny and it warmed up to close to 60 degrees, upper 50s for sure. It was still pretty windy, but the birds were moving, they were talking. I could hear them a lot of the day. I could hear them yelping up and down the river bottom. And eventually they came out in the field behind me, and the whole flock, they were messing around all evening out there, and the toms were chasing the jakes, and the jakes were chasing the jakes, and the hens were scooting out of the way. It was quite a show. And ended up, towards the end, the hens made their way into the woods, and the toms followed them, and I thought it was over. They were going to go up to roost. Well, all of a sudden I looked over, and the toms popped back out of the woods, and they were coming straight back over at me and my decoys. So I'm like, all right, here we go. I got another chance, another shot. There's a group of 3 toms coming, and they came up, and I waited a little too long to draw. The one was looking, I could see him in the gap of the ghost blind when I drew back, and he must have caught that movement a little bit, and he got nervous. And then I shot, and I don't know if I just dropped my arm or what, but shot that one right in the dirt right under him. So they started moving out too, and I reloaded again, shot. Yeah, I guessed him at about 40 yards, put the 40-yard pin right on him, and I drilled him. He hit the dirt, and he nosedived for a little, got up and ran for a little bit, and then he was done. He laid right there in the field, and I had both of my takes filled. It was quite an afternoon.
This segment brought to you by Vortex, the force of optics. Boning Archery Supply. Darton Archery, quality compound and crossbows. Rexpid Broadheads, strong and dependable, nothing flies faster. Pete Shoe Dryer, we invented dry. Dog Lake Resort, located in Thunder Bay, Ontario. For the family vacation or for the sportsman who wants to fish or hunt, contact Dog Lake Resort. And by Tree Stand Buddy, the quick attach slide mount system for hang-on tree stands. This allows you to use one hang-on tree stand in multiple locations quickly, easily, and safely. Check out Tree Stand Buddy today.
Here they are, my 2 Kansas public land turkeys. I think this one's got a little more Rio in them than that one, but I really don't care. I am pumped. 2 toms, same afternoon. I shot him about 3:30, and now I don't even know what time it is. The sun's over there. Whatever, I don't care. I'm pumped. Tagged out in Kansas, baby. Going home tomorrow morning, maybe tonight. We'll see. Gotta talk to Brian.
So next year we're talking about going to Nebraska.
Yep, go for Miriam's. We're
Yep.
out chasing Rios. We're trying to get our Grand Slam we're working on.
Yep. So stay tuned for that. I'm sure that is going to go off
Always another adventure to be.
with a hitch or 2. But yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching Boot-Trac Adventures. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's about it.
Thank you, Lee.